My name is Tyler Tai, and my presentation is on affirmative action. Created in 1961 by President Kennedy, affirmative action is a policy designed to provide special access to opportunities, usually in education and employment, to members of groups that have been historically disadvantaged. In other words, an individual's color, race, sex, religion, or national origin are taken into account in college admissions and job applications. Big supporters of affirmative action are businesses and government entities, as this policy allows them to increase the number of people from certain groups within companies, colleges, institutions, and other areas of society. For example, America's top universities like Harvard, Stanford, and Yale champion affirmative action as they always aim to create a broadly diverse class. Affirmative action has always aimed to redress the historical injustices of discrimination. According to Maxwell and Garcia of the American Progress, for much of American history, elite colleges and universities were largely reserved for the wealthy, predominantly white Americans. Only in the 20th century did these institutions begin to actively prioritize diversity and expand access by adopting tools such as affirmative action. Furthermore, according to Dr. Amano of Yale University, before affirmative action, there have been substantial differences in wage and unemployment rates between white men and women and between majority and minority workers. Based on its current setup, affirmative action has put race and gender as the dominant factors in employee recruitment and school admission procedures rather than academic merit. As a result, it has discouraged minority students from achieving the best. There is little incentive to strive for a 4.0 GPA if one believes that a 3.2 GPA is enough to be admitted to a four-year college. According to economist Brett Hitman, the same can happen in corporate. In the past decade, he has seen minorities invest less in job skills as they rely more on affirmative action than their own abilities. This is not to say that this policy encourages every minority to put less effort into education and work, but it does for some. Ironically, affirmative action has created reverse discrimination as they favor one group over another, especially minorities over non-minorities. As a result, non-minority enrollment at the top quarter of schools reduces by 4.2% every year. However, it is without a doubt that affirmative action helps and has helped create a more diverse work environment. The ability to interact with other nationalities and races is crucial for a successful business at school. Research has shown that diversity in a company or on campus has produced nothing but positive results. Diverse college campuses offer more worldviews for students to consider and engage with. In return, their learning is elevated to a different level because they can appreciate, understand, and hear from someone from a different background. Additionally, recent research has found that companies that are diverse are more financially successful than those with a less diverse workforce. Furthermore, it is given that not everyone begins the race at the same level. Some are ahead and some are well behind. This can be because of centuries of structural oppression. Affirmative action acknowledges this and thus evens out the playing field by ensuring everyone has a fighting chance to benefit from the advantages selective colleges and fields of work provide to climb the social ladder. Since 1961, the policy has grown to include much more than just African Americans. Currently, affirmative action includes categories such as race, ethnicity, background, and gender. Thus, the winners of affirmative action are mainly women and people of color, as they receive more recognition and attention on college admissions and job applications. This has great impact as students from minority groups benefit more in terms of lifetime earnings from attending a selective college than their white peers. Additionally, low-income students and women increase their chances of emerging from poverty and stepping into the middle class. However, with that being said, whites, Asians, and men lose out on affirmative action. Since whites, Asians, and men are already overrepresented in categories such as businesses, universities, and the top 10% of income earners, they have to work twice as hard as any other minority group. The academically well-prepared working class and poor Asian and white students are routinely ignored in favor of Black and Hispanic students who are more affluent as well as less well-prepared. The same applies between men and women. Despite its voluntary compliance design, many studies have found that affirmative action has had positive effects on equalizing employment rates for women and minorities with respect to white men. For example, female employment has risen by 15.2% in the last 20 years. Regarding college enrollment, affirmative action has substantially increased college enrollment and success among minorities and women. According to economist Garcia, from 1967 to 2010, female college enrollment has more than doubled. Black college enrollment increased by 39%, and much more has increased. All in all, affirmative action has greatly affected the labor market, aiming to increase diversity and employment opportunities by requiring universities and businesses to take race and gender into consideration, has encouraged minorities and women to work hard and apply to universities and/or jobs they may never have considered previously despite the aptitudes. In other words, the supply and demand for people of color and women has increased, but in return has decreased for whites, Asians, and men. Although I was negatively affected by affirmative action, I still believe that it is a good policy. From what I have learned and experienced, affirmative action has been one of the best tools companies and colleges have to promote diversity and ensure that those who are otherwise shut out of the American post-secondary system have a chance to earn a quality life. To the stakeholders, I say that as long as there are still people who are at a disadvantage because of who they are, affirmative action is needed. And let's not forget that America is the land of opportunities.